night with Winter Donovan.
So two of her friends tried to beat her up? See, no. They plotted. On vacation, on a birthday vacation that people were supposed to be enjoying themselves, y'all spent it doing this? Hating on this girl and trying to beat her, picking her up by her throat and body slamming her? You got some real hatred in your heart to do something like that. Just like you really have to be careful who you associate yourself with. You really have to peep when people start acting funny. I just would hate to be in a situation where I think I'm around people that I can trust and that I can depend on when they secretly don't have good intentions for me. And I was telling you, it's always the people who don't deserve it that have their lives end tragically like this. Hey everyone, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back on another video, and I'm back with the reaction videos. I do still have some sit down chat videos that are recorded that need to go up, but I kind of wanted to go ahead and get back into the reaction. So we are going to be reacting to this video about Shanquella Robinson, and this video is titled "New Details Emerge as FBI Joins Investigation Now Listed as a Criminal Matter." Now, for those of y'all who don't know, I haven't seen what's been going on. This young lady, she went on a vacation with her friends, not her friends, but who she thought were her friends. And long story short, the girl got beat to death by one of her so-called friends. And they lied and told authorities that she had suffered from alcohol poisoning. And yeah, this whole situation has just been very sad, very, very sad and shady. There's been a lot of sad things happening lately, especially with people passing away and stuff like that. But this one in particular is really sad because, you know, she was around company who she thought she could trust and that she thought she, you know, was cool with. And, you know, it started to unravel that they might have had some type of secret animosity towards her. Maybe they didn't really like her like that. It's just really sad, especially too and you know, like everything is kind of like alleged, even though, again, there are videos and things starting to, you know, kind of resurface that are, you know, alleging that, you know, they were plotting on her and they really didn't have any good intentions for her off rip. But it's just really sad, and it has a lot of people thinking about, like, you know, how, like, nowadays you just can't really trust folks like that anymore. And I've come to that realization a few times. Where it's just like you really have to be careful who you associate yourself with. You really have to peep when people start acting funny. And, you know, we don't know the dynamics of her and those people, but I could only imagine, though, that if they disliked her that much to where they sat up there, watched her get beat, lied about it, and, you know, didn't do anything to stop it. They don't even really seem to have any remorse for the situation and what happened. You can imagine there had to have been, and I'm not blaming her at all. I'm just speaking in general. Like, when you have people like that who secretly envy people, I feel like there are some signs there, but I feel like because Shanquella is probably that type of person that is just, you know, a good person, and she probably extends a lot of grace to people who don't deserve it. And so there was probably a lot of things that she overlooked because she thought that these were her friends, and she wouldn't have had to even consider being in harm's way with them. But yeah, we're gonna get into this video and see what's happening, because apparently the FBI is getting involved, because as they should.
Imagine going all the way to Mexico with a group of people who you thought were your friends, only to never make it back. Well,
It's so
what
sad.
happened to 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson, who has received national news while we all try to search for justice for her and finding out exactly what happened to her on that fateful day of October 29th, 2022. On October 28, 2022, Shanquella Robinson traveled from Charlotte, North Carolina to Cabo, Mexico with 6 others. Her so-called bestie, Khalil Cook, Malik Dyer, Winter Donovan, Elise Hyatt, who they claimed was invited last minute because of her sister's passing, Dejanay Jackson, and last but not least, Nazir Wiggins, who actually showed up the next day. According to the group, they never got a chance to go out and explore Cabo because a day after their arrival, tragedy took place. Shaquella's mother, Salamandra Robinson, received a phone call from Khalil about Shaquella saying that she was resting and not feeling good and that she had thrown up a couple of times. Her family thought nothing of it, it's just a hangover, but little did they know, one conversation would begin a string of lies that seemed like they would never end, and that would later cause a mother her worst nightmare, and that's hearing that your child had passed away.
So
After
sad.
hearing that she wasn't feeling well, Salamandra advised them to call her back and let her know how she was doing later on. Now, when Khalil called back, he informed Salamandra that 3 ambulances had arrived outside and that they were beginning to try to resuscitate Shaquella. Now, how you go from a simple hangover to resuscitation is beyond me, but the family trusted Khalil. So as long as she was with Khalil, they felt like everything was okay. Now, he ended up telling them that she had alcohol poisoning, but that was not the truth. Mexico's
And that's the
authorities
thing, it's like if that's your best friend and you sat there, like, let me tell you something, my best friend would never, okay? My best friend would never. Like for you to sit there and watch her get beat to death. And then cuz I hate to play devil's advocate here because I mean no, they're literally all just shit for allowing this to happen. But let's say I don't know, he got scared and didn't want to tell her family. Like he was afraid to tell her family. Either way, like I don't know, like you can't hide something. Like cuz again, if that like cuz this is also too why I do think that they all plotted together. Cuz at any point, I don't care how close the friend group is. If you have one friend in the friend group that's acting irate and gets to the point where she's trying to beat somebody to death, all ties are cut with that friend. Like, I'm sorry, like, because at that point, it's not even like you're betraying anybody. No, like, she beat your friend to death. I would have been, like, snitched and said something, especially to her family. Like, because I can only imagine, too, like, if they're best friends and her family is aware of this person being her best friend, I can imagine he probably has some type of relationship with her family as well. So it's like, how could you sit there and, like, just lie like that? Like, I don't know.
police pronounced Shanquella dead at 3 o'clock p.m. on October 29th. The group decided to travel back a day early, but they traveled back without her body. Khalil returned to the U.S. back to Shanquella's mother's house with her luggage, and he kept reiterating that Shanquella had died from alcohol poisoning. Her mother said he brought her luggage to my house when he got back, and he just kept saying she died from alcohol poisoning. At that point, I just said I was going to wait for the autopsy to come back. Days later, Khalil kept returning to the mother's home. They said he was pacing back and forth. Her sister Quilla Long said it was almost like he was high or coming off of something. He was grabbing his beard. He was nervous. He was sweating. Things just were not adding up to the family. Now, there was another time when he came back to the house with Winter Donovan and Dejanay Jackson, two of the 3 girls that were there with them in Mexico. Now, I'm thinking to myself, at this point, the girls felt like he was doing a good job covering up for himself, so they wanted to cover up for themselves as well, and that's why they came back. Now, the sister Quilla Long, she said to the girls that I heard you guys were fighting in Mexico. Was it true? I heard you guys jump my sister. The girls denied it. There were no fights at all. Nothing like that happened. But little did we know, not only was there a fight with Dejanay and Shanquella, but there was also an alleged fight with Winter Donovan.
So 2 of her friends tried to beat her up? See, no. They plotted. They plotted. There's no way. There's no way. And again, it's like, I just don't understand how people do this. If you dislike this girl so bad, why in the world would you invite her on vacation? And I don't even want to hear no like, oh, if they're all in the same friend group, they had to invite her. No, she didn't. You know how many times I've been in friend groups and I didn't get invited to stuff? Like, come on. Like, in Mexico, like, I don't know. Like, for them to do this on vacation, on a birthday vacation that people were supposed to be enjoying themselves, y'all spent it doing this? Hating on this girl and trying to beat her? And again, I don't know if they intended on killing her. I I would hope that they weren't trying to actually end this girl's life. But it's like,
and Shanquella. And that fight with Winter Donovan is the one that more than likely set this whole thing off and ended Shanquella's life.
All right, so back to what I was saying. There's another video. There's a second part that happened. Winter Donovan allegedly grabbed Shanquella around the neck and body slammed her, and she never got up.
oh my God.
Now, I'm predicting that I know there's more footage. The source was close to some of these people who was in the room. There is another video. I don't know if Dejanay has that video, but I can guarantee you that Dejanay is not going to sit idle and not going to let the internet destroy her like this. So
but she was in the video beating her ass. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, she's not gonna. No, I'm not. This isn't directed towards him. This is directed towards her. Like, her saying like, oh, I don't want the internet to get up. Like, it just, for it to have gotten that far, it's just ridiculous. Because this wasn't just like a fight. Like, it didn't seem like just a fight gone wrong. Like, the first clip that most people saw was her getting beat up naked. You beat her up naked. And she wasn't even fighting you back. And you still felt angry enough to do that to her. Like, it just felt very planned and very intentional. And then, as he just said, there's another clip, which I haven't seen. But there's another clip out there, according to him, of the other girl, Winter, picking her up by her throat and body slamming her. That's, you got some real hatred in your heart to do something like that. And you cannot sit up here and tell me that you would do something like that to someone and think that it's not going to have some type of negative effect on them or her being able to breathe after that. Like, what do you even like
that somebody is about to turn on somebody and somebody about to release that second part of that video.
According to the autopsy report, Shanquella passed away from severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. And with atlas luxation, this is an injury that can be caused by two bones placed on the spinal cord moving against one another in an unstable manner. More than likely, that came from the traumatic injuries from these fights that she was in. There was a video that surfaced online via the NCB of Shanquella fighting with Dejanay. Shanquella was unclothed and seemed very defenseless. She was asked by one of the onlooker friends saying, "Quella, can you at least fight back?" Shanquella responded, "No." No one helped her. No one tried to stop her.
And that's the sad part. She really thought these people were her friends. And even in the midst of her getting beat up by one of her friends, she still was like, no, I'm not going to fight her. And I was telling you, it's always the people who don't deserve it that have their lives end tragically like this. It's such a shame, bro. Like, it really is.
Janae from fighting her, and even one of the onlookers who was said to be Winter Donovan even asked, why did she gotta fight back? So was it Dejanay or was it Winter Donovan that ended Shanquella's life? Since this news has made headlines, the U.S. Department of State issued the following statement regarding this incident. We are aware of these reports. It read, protecting the welfare of U.S. citizens overseas is among our top priorities. Out of respect for the privacy of those involved, we have no further comment at this time. In a statement back to WBTV, the FBI said they have seen the video and encourage anyone with related photos or video to get in contact. The agency presiding over the case in Mexico confirmed to ABC News they have begun a femicide investigation into Robinson's death. The state attorney general's office of Baja California Sur, the state Cabo is in, tells Channel 9 it maintains the lines of investigation to collect more evidence to achieve the accurate clarification of events without ruling out any hypotheses. Now everyone who was involved is running scared, being hidden by families, phone numbers no longer work, Instagram and Facebook pages are down, But there is one person that's talking, and that's Nazir. For that he tries to clear his name, it seems
I
like he's
saw that.
digging even more of a bigger ditch for himself.
And what it look like, well, you gonna see. So when I got there, she was in
She
the
could
game.
play the whole thing
They told
because
me,
he was saying a whole
she
bunch
was
of nothing.
not feeling good, so I instantly go to her, put on her side, get a bag, and all that. So I'm sitting right next to her the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to watch this whole thing again. I'll be honest with y'all.
I was there the whole time.
But I'll summarize after this ad. Okay, yeah. So because I've already seen this whole clip, but basically he's trying to say that he was the friend that came in the very next day, like he wasn't there the night that these things happened. But a lot of what he said in this video is very contradictory, because he claims he wasn't there until the next day, but then he was also there to comfort her afterwards, and that he was told that it was alcohol poisoning and that's all he thought that it was. But then he noticed that she had a couple of bruises on her face, so it was giving much very back and forth with the details. But also he just came across very defensive, like he wasn't even showing any remorse for what happened to her. It was more so him trying to get the internet off his back, and him trying to say like, oh, he had nothing to do with it, had nothing to do with him. And then he kept making comments too about how, like, this was his birthday trip. Like, everyone came together for him. This was his birthday trip, which also doesn't make any sense, because if it's your birthday trip, if it's a trip for your birthday, why would you be the last one to show up? Granted, I have heard of people doing that. Like, people will have birthday dinners and be late to their own birthday dinner. So I guess I understand it from that perspective. But he was saying a whole lot, but not saying a whole lot. And then again, like, he just kept making comments like, oh, I didn't even get to take a drink, or I didn't even get to smoke a blunt before things went left. Like, he just didn't seem very remorseful at all. He just seemed very on the defense the whole time. So yeah, that's the summary.
So y'all keep posting my address and all that shit. Y'all have fun. Y'all have fun. Y'all know y'all hurting yourself. I'm not hurting. I'm not bothered by this, because I know the truth. Me and God know the truth.
She had a heart of gold. She didn't mistreat nobody.
I mean, I can't even be a grandfather.
Yeah.
Can't even walk down the aisle. Yo.
Weeks later, questions remain.
We're not gonna stop until we get to the end of
Shit,
it.
they get to the bottom of it.
We're gonna get to the end of this.
No, it's not gonna happen. I've been crying. I'm hurt. I'm hurting all the way around.
And justice will definitely prevail. I know a lot of the friends and family personally that are related to Shanquella.
Oh.
So I did want to give this story the utmost respect. This was a sad story to report on. It's just a sad story all the way around. So I definitely pray that you guys get justice. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about it?
Yeah, like I said, this is just so unfortunate. I think it's just because, like, again, we don't know her. I'm literally just going based off of what we've seen, what we've heard, and what her family has said. I feel like in terms of who she is and just her heart for her friends and the people that are around her, I relate to it so much. And so a part of me is like, I just would hate to be in a situation where I think I'm around people that I can trust and that I can depend on when they secretly don't have good intentions for me. And I do think I fell victim to that a few times when I was younger. I definitely had friends that were not good friends at all, but for some reason I hung on to them. I did everything for them, and I kept wanting to tell myself that they have good intentions and that because they were really mean. Like, I had some friends that really treated me horribly, that gaslit me all the time, that would speak to me terribly, but I would always give them grace. I would always overly forgive them, and they always would use the excuse of like, oh, I'm not used to having someone like you. I'm not used to having like real true friends, and sometimes I don't know how to act. And I would always fall for it, and I would always want to look for the best in people. But some people just really are not good people and don't have good intentions for you. And so, I feel like in the past couple of years, I've made it a point to be a little bit more aware and try to look for those certain, red flags in people. And I'm very more cautious about who I'm around, who I trust, and, who I even, like, decide to spend time alone around. Because, again, you just never know. And so it's just really, really unfortunate, because it does seem like she really did care for these people. Like I said, she didn't try to fight them back. She, and there's other videos too of her like being excited and being like, hey, y'all get your swimsuits on. Like, you can tell she was just a kind-hearted person. And for whatever reason, whether it was success, looks, whatever, these people did not have her best intentions and they did not like her. And it literally led to her death. And it's just very, very sad, but it's also another reminder to just be careful. And if you have people in your life that you feel like are acting funny, acting weird, you have friends who maybe every time you share good news with them, they don't seem happy for you. You have to watch for those signs, because those people are just, you don't want people like that in your life, because you never know what they might do. And like I said, the jealousy and the envy could lead them to doing so. Because there's also people too who have had friends that have plotted against them, try to take their business down, try to take them down. Like, people are just very, very hateful nowadays. And so you really have to be careful about who you trust and, who you surround yourself around, because, you just never, ever know. But yeah, this was a really sad situation. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below about the situation. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop new videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.